Oh, hi. How you doing? It's been a while since I played Endfield on stream. That's what we're playing tonight, because that's what you guys voted for. Also, I need to make a new points redeem, and we have another points redeem, by the way. I was asked by a regular to just have a points redeem variant of the celebrate command, so I did that. Yay. And I need to make another redeem because I got an idea right before the stream. I was talking to some of the... Can you guys hear Grape? He is just peep cheeping at Storm down there. Goodness, loud boy. I got an idea right before the stream. So I was going to do call-in call-outs. Basically, just like what Huerta has. Where he sent me a clip and it plays on his first chat message. I was going to do something like that for subscribers, but I think what I'm going to do is, since I can't always implement... let me actually get the capture set up here. Since I can't always implement... Howdy, Raiden. Something like that for just subscribers, I figured I'd have it be a one-time redeem for a bunch of points, and if you want one, you can have one. Obviously, that would limit it to Twitch, but if you're one of the few YouTube viewers who stops by, then I can do that for you too. That's perfectly fine. Just have to figure out a way to do it for currency there as well. Endfield. There it is. Wow. I actually just today, because of my pulls, I pulled another Tang Tang, and I pulled both Artsy Tyrannical and Kravzerger for wow, brain, Yvonne and Lastrite. So I'm switching up to a Frost team today, actually, which is entirely different than what I usually do. Oh, hey. Need to remember to actually harvest these. Keep forgetting every now and then. Konnichiwa, what's up? How you doing, Chaos? Hello. Speaking of forgetting to do things, I need to check my board. Soup ice team time, something like that, yeah. Okay, I'm missing a 1 and no one has sent me one. What a shame. Alright, so I'm going to be taking you guys today. It might be a couple missions, and I'll show you my team layout. I'm going to show you guys what I did to Valley 4, though, because I don't know if you saw my TISM spurging in the server, but Valley 4 currently is pretty goddamn balanced. Let's see, this is actually 540 out of 540, 240, 1080 out of 1080. It says 600, but it's actually 560. I actually sat there and fucking counted. So everything here is balanced and churning out the maximum profit I can for the minimum amount of power I can. I was thinking of doing a thing where I put it all in one base, and I figured out a plan that would let me to have all of this in just the main AIC and leave the rest of them entirely empty. However, I'm too lazy to tear everything down and do that. So more power to you if you want to follow one of those plans. Good for you. I'm too lazy. And as you can see, perfectly balanced for power. Eefishunsee. Let's go down. Oop. Starting in the Valley Pass. Up. I'll show the power generation. I'll show pretty much everything you guys need to see. And if you want any blueprints, I can chop each base up into blueprints and send you the code. It's perfectly fine. I'm good with that if you don't want to think. Perfectly balanced is how things should be. Yes. Well, so I have the Valley perfectly balanced out for power and all of my material generations for non-growable materials. Now, what I mean by that is anything that isn't a plant has a finite amount that I can pull out of the ground. So anything that isn't a plant, I can only use so much of. So I have those perfectly balanced, and I have the plants about as high as they can go without drawing too much more power. That's pretty much it. And I balanced out my power consumption to 5.7k. I can actually shift it even lower if I felt like going with some efficiency strats on some of my productions, but big on that one. What I'm actually most proud of here is the fact that I was able to balance, first of all, the Ferium ore consumption probably took the longest time to balance. This is just here so I can sell it. That's the only reason I'm making a Regio Crust, because I can sell them. This right here, massive pain in the ass. However, this right here and this right here were even more massive pains in the ass. I tell you, holy shit. Balancing out my steel parts and my bottles to perfectly take up the exact right amount of Ferium to power ratio along with production of sellable goods. Pain in the ass. I got it. Pain in the ass. I have switchbacks and halvesies and all kinds of other stupid stuff to be able to balance those out and keep it under the power limit, which means I need to use the minimum amount of facilities for the maximum amount of throughput. Fucking just terrible. You see I'm making Buck Capsule C as well, 18 of them to be exact, specifically because these use amethyst bottles, and I was not using amethyst for anything at all. And just to be a surly little bastard, what I did before I did that was where is it? So before I switched my amethyst over to making that type of medicine, Kriston fiber, just in case I need it in the future, 70k. Kriston bottles, just in case I need it in the future, 70k. So if at some point, Kriston parts, just in case I need in the future, 80k. If at some point I need them in the future, I have them. However, right now there's absolutely no purpose for Kriston bottles, and I don't know why they're in the game. Entirely worthless. Cannot use them right now. Don't know why. If there is a usage, I haven't found them, and it's really, honestly, kind of irritating. Can't do a damn thing with them. You can make them, and then they sit there. You can ship them in crates, and that's about it. There ain't anything else you can do. Annoying. Very annoying. Anyway. So this is my refugee camp. It's a pretty basic setup. You see there's a lot of empty space in between things. That's specifically because since I designed with such a minimal pattern across all of my bases, I ended up with a lot of empty space in some of them, because if I were to put anything there, which I could absolutely put smaller manufactorums there if I shift things over and Tetris this shit. I'd be consuming more power, and I am producing the exact amount of power that I am consuming right now, and I don't want to do that. I'm not going to get much more profit out of everything because I'm maximizing my usage of amethyst, I'm maximizing my usage of metal, and I am maximizing my use of originium. So there's not really much I pull out of the ground that I could exploit anymore, so there's no real purpose of growing any more plants or anything like that. But we'll go with the sub AICs because they're a little less complicated, so I'm just gonna run through all of those real quick. Gotta tell you, balancing that power requirement for consumption, pain in the ass. Producing bottles over here, and that's flipping over here to produce the C. More growables. Growables, honestly, were probably the thing I had to figure out the most, just being able to balance out the throughput, because like something like this here is actually producing 15 if it feeds back, but it's producing 30 if one is feeding directly into the seed picking unit, and this one is feeding directly out. So this one's feeding directly out to produce 30, but if I had it feeding back in at the same time, it would only produce 15. So I wanted it to produce 30, so I have an extra one down here. It's okay, Chris Dunbottle. I love all bottles equally. You're the favorite child, Steel Bottle. Ah, not true. Not true. Steel Bottle is not the favorite child anymore. Favorite child is now the new Red Bottle. Red Bottle is now the favorite child. Steel Bottle is now the redheaded stepchild, ironically. Poor Steel Bottle. On top for so long. Now nowhere near as important. Cuprium. That's what it is. Cuprium. So these are actually producing as fast as they can. You see they're churning out constantly, but the thing is these take a while. So reload and all that takes a while too. Little tip, you can put this at the edge here to get yourself just a little bit more room. And if you do it on both sides, so if you were to cram all these inside the yellow lines, right, you would have a one gap. You would have one space gap, right? But if you put this one out to the edge there, and you put that one out to the edge there, you have a 3 gap, which is big enough for another unloader, which is big enough for another station. So that kind of maximizes your ability to get output here. That doesn't matter as much in Wuling, because Wuling plays by different rules, and I'm going to be honest, Wuling also doesn't bring in enough raw ground materials to really justify. I swear to God. What do you mean this is the only Ferium deposit? Felt that in my soul. My God. What do you mean I'm going from somewhere that has 1080 to somewhere that has like 240? The fuck? Okay. So this one is the power plateau. Shift over to... not Lone Spring. I don't want Lone Spring. I want the park. There we go. I can tiz him about this for a long time, by the way, just to let you know. It's lucky I wasn't streaming while I was going through this because, man, it was just constant. So you see here, this is actually the last base that I worked on when I was figuring out my efficiency system. And because this was the very last base I worked on, I have so much empty room. If I was willing to burn another battery, I could grow more plants here. That is true. There is no reason to, though, because I am currently using all of my out of ground materials that can't be grown as is. So if I were to plant more plants, it would just fill my stockpile and that's it. And I don't need that many. I really don't. So there would be no purpose. So this one just has a whole shit ton of room for activities because this is the last one I worked on. Very simple. It produces my secondary energy source here, as well as my primary energy batteries here. And if you actually look under my AIC, shoop. So this vacillates between 4 and 8. And it's because, see, it just vacillated back down to 4. So this one will go up and down, but it's honestly just yield 6, usage 6, even if it doesn't say that. I know because it stayed right around 100 to 121, so I'm actually gaining a little bit of battery, but not much. Like, it'll occasionally go down, but usually it's just solid right between 100 and 121, just constantly. And then this one right here, these are my secondary supply. I could absolutely churn out more power. I just have absolutely no fucking need to, because you can see it's currently at 24 and then 18. There's no reason to churn out more power for something that I have no more material to make anything of. And I just picked buckflower because I pretty much just picked one. I wanted to specialize into one plant type, that way I'd have plenty of that plant type. I just didn't go into citron at all. No real reason aside from that. You can make cuprium parts here? But why would you make cuprium parts here? I'm confused. That's incredibly silly. Anywhoozits. So this one is empty as hell on account of the fact that I did all of my balancing on all of the other ones, and this just happened to be the last one I worked on. So much space for activities, but absolutely nothing to do with it. Alright, main AIC time. This one is, I did tricks here specifically to be able to get things done. And I am entirely unrepentant in doing them. You see, I have electrical pylons outside of the facility that are feeding power into the edges of the facility. Don't feel bad about that one at all. I just decided it was time. You can see even here, this was the second to last one I worked on, and you can see there's a lot of gaps in between. I could probably Tetris this all together and make it much more compact, but the thing is the ones that are here against the wall that are drawing from my supply, ain't shit I can do about those ones. Those ones have to be where they are. So even if I Tetris this all together, it's just gonna have a bunch of empty space right over here. So corner, corner, middle, middle, corner, corner. And down here we have the secondary power generation, 1 green, 1 purple. The purple is feeding into 4. The green is feeding into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. Yeah, 5. So I could put out 1 more purple, but I wanted to balance it exactly where it was. Because again, the green is using an entirely different material. That is why I am still making the green battery. Specifically because it's using an entirely different material. If it was using any kind of ferrium, this would be a different story, but it's not. So perfectly balanced. I'm pulling in about roughly 3.4, 3.5 million a day from my current setup. And that is enough to just be able to buy whatever the fuck I want from the store, as well as play the stock market and not worry about hoarding it too much. In fact, if I'm correct, I'm actually, yeah, I'm still close to limit. I'm 27.1 million. Have I sold anything today? I have. And these are kept almost perpetually empty. And you see here, that's just there specifically so I can cash in a quick 80k. For no other reason. The operators you see here, by the way, Levitane, Yvonne, and Abigail. Or I'm sorry, Angelina. Ugh. Angelina, Yvonne, and I would just want to call her Surtur so bad because I see the hair. These are the perfect ones for each setup. They have all 3 traits. Rhodes Island, Culture, Urginium Arts. So if you want them to have all 3 traits at the same time, I don't need one of them. They only need trade and gain. But I figured since they're perfect in slot, I'm just gonna put them there. Fuck it, I really don't care. Speaking of which, let me just tap that one out. We'll go about right there. I was thinking Abigail because I was thinking of another operator. Don't really have anything else to sell there. God, those regenerate fast. That is Valley 4. Valley 4 is entirely balanced and churning out about as much as I can. Unless they give new tech that can be installed in Valley 4, there's not shit I can do. Unfortunately, I think I've complained about this before, Wuling tech is locked to Wuling. It's incredibly stupid. I hate it. I don't like it. It's very dumb. So, like, if I were to look at something like, oh, I don't know, our hydro mining rig, or our fluid pump, Valley 4 region is off limits to fluid pump. Like, okay, I understand the Forge of the Sky. I get it. Forge of the Sky is something that should be unique to Wuling because of the thematic elements behind it and the story stuff. I understand that, and I'm fine with that. Can you explain to me why a fucking fluid pump and a fluid mining rig is limited to Wuling? It pumps water. Why? Why are you like this? I understand some limitations, but the Zeronite energy transference and the fluid pumps and fluid mining rigs being limited don't make any goddamn sense, and I hate it. I hate it so much. I cannot fucking stand that shit. It's so irritating, and I hope they change it. Hey Endman, you can use water pumps here. There's literally, you can't use water pumps here. There's literally water right there, bro. There is actually water I could pump from close by. There is water I could pump from close by. It's just over the ridge. I could run a line over here. And the reason I'm complaining, just to explain. So, the reason I'm complaining. Electric mining rig. Sorry, let me actually pull up the menu here. Electric mining rig, Mark II, power use 10. Electric mining rig, Mark I, power usage 5. Hydro mining rig, power usage of 0. Okay? And you can use a fluid pump with a power usage of 10 to power at least 3 or 4 of them. Because what happens is the water comes from here, it goes into the hydro mining rig, and that powers the mining. So, I could replace all of my electric mining rigs with hydro mining rigs and pretty much cut my power consumption for my electro mining rigs by a fourth, since 110 can power 4 of these. But it won't let me do it because it's locked to Wuling, and I hate it. I cannot stand that shit. That is irritating as hell. Devs need to change that. I've put it in every single survey I've taken. Devs need to change that. Some things should... The one thing I think that should be Wuling locked is the Forge of the Sky. Because the reason you can produce Zeronite there is because of Wuling's ties to... Wow. Brain. The demigods they have there. I can't remember the exact name for them. Ling is one of them, and a couple of others are ones of them from Arknights, but basically the walking, sentient, natural disasters that they have in Wuling is the reason that they can make Zeronite. I get it. That makes sense. The Forge of the Sky only works there. My favorite thing about this game is the amount of drops I have that I'll never use because of you. Love you too, buddy. What's going on, Virtus? Like, that all makes sense. Why am I not remembering it? It's incredibly important, and their event is coming up soon. It's the name for pretty much all of them. It's not Tianchi. Those are the citizens. Why can't I remember what they're called? Fuck. brain. Whatever. The walking, talking calamities that are essentially the closest thing they have to sentient gods that are there, that we confirmed have been brought here because their observation bureau is also here. Because they're in Wuling, Wuling's able to produce Zeronite. Makes perfect sense, understand it, not gonna question that, alright? But why the fuck does a fluid pump and something that's built out of Zeronite not work anywhere else? You telling me this shit can't be exported? Bullshit. I refuse to believe it. It produces energy, and also fluid pumps don't use Zeronite at all, so it makes even less sense. Should not be locked. The other thing that should not be locked, the perks you get from collecting Oraline, should not be locked there. The only thing that should be locked is the Forge of the Sky. And I have my complaints about that too, but it's not about the region lock. That's like the one thing I think should be region locked. The rest of it, though, makes no fucking sense. Also, the fact that Valley 4 doesn't have any equivalent to the Forge of the Sky, like a region-specific resource, is kind of dumb. But we'll get into that, don't worry. Perfectly balanced, as all things should be. I can leave it alone for a long time, too, and I have nothing to worry about. Tang Tang is so cute! Sploop! Adorable. Alright. Region overview. Wuling. I actually need to go on my gathering route, so I might as well do that. So with the update, we went from being able to have 2 Forges of the Sky to having 4 Forges of the Sky, which is very nice. However, limiting me on Forges of the Sky is still incredibly irritating. Don't like it. As you can see, I have 1 and 2 Forges of the Sky, churning out Zeronite, which feeds directly into my reactor crucibles, which feeds directly into my secondary reactor crucibles, which feeds into my finishing reactor crucible, which makes this fucking thing. Zircon is used for SC batteries, and Zircon is a pain in the ass to make. However, it is extremely valuable and extremely energy dense. As you can see here, I have the exact different problem because I'm currently using 4.24 out of 6.6k energy, right? I'm only using 2 thermal banks to produce 6.4k energy. And that is because those 2 thermal banks are powered by these, which are each worth 3,200 apiece. Holy shit. How? It's a AA battery. How do you pack that with? There is more power in one of these AA batteries than actually no. More than half of my entire power generation in Valley 4. In one of these. Just one. Okay, 100% thought when they said it was like Factorio that it had some automated crafting stuff, not that you literally had Factorio in the game. Yes. Yes, this is the AIC unit. When we say like Factorio, we mean it. That we meant that shit. Okay, you're actually done, aren't you? We can actually probably just keep one of you shredding units here and take the other one and start creating steel stuff for more money, but I'll hold off on that for now. As you can see, we have our cube generation here for the power. We have our battery generation. We only have 2 of these packaging units producing 12 a minute on account of the fact that, well, they're kind of a pain in the ass. They take 4 of these to every 1 of these, as you can see, because it's 20:5, so it's a 1:4 ratio. And I'm trying to keep that ratio balanced so they can just continually churn these out every 10 seconds, which is how long it takes to put it together. However, because of the batteries and because of the hydro mining rigs, absolute colossal pain in the ass, extremely efficient, I can't cut these batteries in half. So aside from like producing a lesser kind of battery, which would require me eating into some other kind of material, I can't cut my energy generation. So I just kind of have to accept the fact that until I expand even more, ain't shit I can do there. But the problem with that is, if you look at my AIC, and Wuling's another one, I honestly considered just putting everything into one base, and I thought of a really good way to do it because everything's efficient. However, the same thing happened Man, I'm too lazy to tear everything down. I'm too fucking lazy. Jinko, Yazen, Carbon, Ferium. So right now, yield 60, usage 60, yield 90, usage 90. I'm not using all of this. This is the one out of ground material I am not using all of. I absolutely could. That's what I was just talking about. However, I mean, I could, but because 60 of this is being used to make zircon, and the last 30, again, Cuprium. Cuprium is the new material that was introduced in the update. 120 produced, 120 being used, and that's directly from Cuprium ore, which again, 120 and 120. Like I said, everything's balanced. Even despite what it says, the clean water is balanced. Let's see, Originium, Origio Crust, powder, balanced, barium powder, heal the 90, my ass. It's full for a reason, guys. Balanced, sandleaf, good, balanced, balanced. Everything's balanced except for the metal, and I can use that at some point. This is the Cuprium bottle. This is the new favorite. It's the new favorite on account of the fact that it can make a higher tier of Yazen and Jinkao medicines, and that sells for more. Zircon's going straight in the batteries, so none of it's really being stored. These... I don't know why they list the liquids here. I really don't know why they list the liquids here, because you can't actually store them in your storage for the region. If you try and empty something of them or try and like put it somewhere, they just vanish into the ether. So there's really no point. I did have trouble with my sewage disposal at the start, which comes from making Cuprium ore. However, for some fucking reason, sewage is used in the production of zircon effluent. Zircon effluent is used in the production of zircon. So, sewage combined with liquid zironite makes zircon effluent and inert zircon effluent. And then zircon effluent goes on to be combined with powdered ferium. And then that makes zircon. And inert zircon effluent just gets disposed of. We got sewage now? Hell yeah, let's pollute this place up. No, you can't actually pollute the environment around you. What happens is that it gunks up the machine and the machine stops working. So there is no teehee, I can just pollute the place. It's, oh fuck, my entire production line is now fucked because of the fact that I tried to pollute the place. These are the higher tier of syringes that I was talking about. These use Cuprium. The SC batteries are twice as efficient as the LC batteries, so I've stopped producing these and started producing these. They also sell for more. Who messages me and why? Who is you? Who are you? Who be you? Oh, Jesus. It's been storming all day here, which was really nice because I took a significant other out for dinner and there was nobody fucking there. It was amazing. Absolutely no one there. The hospital is asking me to write a review about the service that I received, or that my wife received there, and I gotta tell you, I don't think they want me to write that review. I do not think they want me to write that review, because man, that would add to the 2.1 out of 5 rating that they fucking have. Oh, hold on. I missed a call. Hold on, guys. I'll be right back. Or I'll be right unmuted. Give me a minute. When it rains, it pours. How you guys doing? Where was I? Oh yeah, these are much more efficient. Can't break them apart though. It'd be like that. So, Fodheads, welcome back. Shut up. I'm pretty much using everything from the ground that I can, except for Ferium. But as of right now, with the addition of Cuprium, there's not much I can do with Ferium. Because I'm already using as much as I can for Zircon production, which is about 30 a minute, which is one full production cycle. So there's not much else I can do. Honestly, I could cram everything into one slot. You can see I was working with space efficient production here for these, but honestly, if I did that, I would have one base full of everything and then the other base with nothing in it, so I didn't see the point in haranguing it that far. Okay. Thank you, sweetheart. There's just some stuff going on back home. However, it's one of those things that I can't really do anything about, so I'm trying not to worry about it. So, I'm limited to 4 Forges of the Sky here. I have 2 here and 2 on the other base, just because I didn't want to cram multiple onto one base. I do have all of my refined graphite production on this base, though. Or, I'm sorry, my stabilized carbon. All on this base, though, because I was able to cram it efficiently all together. That's the only reason. Along with all of my battery cube production, and I want to say 1 of my battery production lines are on this base, and this right here is providing all of the power for all of my bases. That's what this is. This is for both bases. This is producing all of the power. And whenever we get a third PAIC in this area, then I'm pretty sure that I will be able to move this literally anywhere to add another 1 thermal bank onto it if I have to. I honestly don't think I will, because I don't think that other base is going to take much more than 2.2k. 2.2k is honestly kind of overselling it for how much a new base will require. This is my Wuling base, though. This is the primary AIC. All upgrades unlocked. I went with a cross pattern specifically because more surface area equals being able to attach more things to it. And I didn't just want to have shelves running across. I thought that would look kind of stupid, so I didn't want to do this. Honestly, I could probably drop this one down by 1, but I wanted to keep them parallel because, again, aesthetics. Fuck it, right? My next base... Oh yeah, I'm currently only missing 103 treasure chests. They're all right here, and they require me draining this pond. I already have, as you can see here, pumps working at it, but I only started it today because today is the day I decided I'd actually hunt them all down. So I started using my radar thingies to find them. I don't know how long it'll take, probably a while, so yeah, I'm in no rush. Over here at Sky King Flats. That reminds me, I actually need to turn in my ore line because I have all of the ore line for the entire region and I haven't turned it in. Mostly because it's maxed out for me, so there's no point. There's really no point. This is the other facility. This looks really familiar. So the reason I have Cuprium production, or Cuprium refinement here, alongside the Forges of the Sky, is because the Forge of the Sky makes Zeronite. The process of refining Cuprium makes the sewage. The sewage is what's going down into this second stage reactor crucible, and that is used in production. So I figured the most efficient thing to do would be to use the sewage I am getting straight from the refining unit here, and then just dumping my Zeronite directly into first stage, and then the sewage directly into second stage. And then I could actually probably push these up more by cutting out a layer, and it would fit, but I am too lazy to do that right now. And then down here we have some of our powder going in here to produce zircon on the bottom level. And then a scrubber for the inert zircon on both sides. Hello, Nya. Welcome back. How you feeling, bud? Let's see. We've got our bottle production here, as well as our part production here. Both are used right now for medicine, and that's about it. And same with the shredding unit for the Yazen and Jinkao powder right here. I'm currently only producing Yazen, again, because I flipped a coin and decided I'd go all in on this production for that sort of sellable good. That's the only reason. The second of my battery producing machines right here. The initial refining for my very low stock of raw ferrium. For fuck's sake, there's one group of deposits here and that's fucking it. God, that's annoying. Anyway, some growth just so I have them on hand, and some more growth again just so I have them on hand. So the cool thing about these, both of the traditional Wuling style crops, each refine out to 2 carbon cubes instead of 1 carbon cube. But the flip side of that is the seed picker only goes into 1 for 1. However, each seed grows into 2. So it's worth 2 on this end and not 2 on this end. So it kind of flips the production cycle of Valley 4 on its head. It's the exact opposite, but I really don't care because I don't need high throughput, so I wasn't gonna completely overhaul my style. I just made a new production line for this and pretty much called it a day. Indeed. Wow. Agreed. So these being able to go into 2 carbon cubes actually makes it a lot easier to be able to refine enough stabilized carbon to be able to make my Forge of the Sky just churn out a whole bunch of Zeronite. Honestly, there's not much more else I can do here until I get more Forges of the Sky unlocked. Unfortunately, as you can see, coming soon. There's not a damn thing I can do. I am currently locked at 4. Oh well, that's Wuling. I imagine we're going to have 4 sections, so it's probably going to be 3 and then 4, because we'll probably have the exact same amount of PAICs here. Alright. Limbo Stockade was draining something over here. Right. I'm missing exactly 1 treasure chest from a pond that needs to be drained. Oh, and I think it just finished, so we'll go and take care of that. Right there. Well, first, actually. Right, and I also need to make that new redeem. I was going to have just a redeem for VIP, but the thing is if you subscribe to me, then VIP is entirely worthless because I can't give VIP to subscribers, which is annoying, but it'd be like that. So I figured having you be able to redeem a shout out to be able to just basically from then on, after you spend those points, if you type something for the first time during a stream in chat, it will play the noise. That is the idea. Hello, kitty. I don't have any of my ults charged, do I? Oh, never mind, I got one of them. Bye. Yeah, that's not gonna work on me. Bye. I do like that Endfield kept the thing where operators, a lot of the core operators have patron animals. I actually really like that. I thought it was a cute thing in the original Arknights, and I'm glad they kept it here. Last Ride's actually primary DPS. The only reason I'm controlling Tang, well, 2 reasons I'm controlling Tang is because her ult doesn't really require input after you hit it for last right, whereas Tang Tang's you can finish her ult early by jumping and doing a plunge attack for a massive amount of burst damage. So I wanted to maintain control of that massive amount of burst damage. And the other reason I'm playing as Tang Tang is because she's fucking adorable. She's so cute. Look at that face. Oh, wait, hold on. Look at that face. She's so cute. Is this done yet? This is almost done. Oh, you are out of room that you can actually work in because now you're no longer in the water. So I need to move. Is this sewage? Oh my god. I didn't even realize this pond was fucking... Okay. So we're gonna have to actually switch these out for treatment plants because apparently after you filter out all the water here, the bottom of this pond is pure sewage. That's cool. And by cool, I mean gross. Let's go get a treatment unit. We'll put those over here. Oh, that means I'm gonna have to run more power. Oh, no, I won't. No, it's right there. That'll be fine. I do need to set up my auto farm over here for the energy alluvium, but I can do that later. It's really not a big deal. Basically an auto combat setup that makes it go faster because you have a bunch of high power turrets shooting the fuck out of the enemy whenever you go there to farm. Manage depot. I need... I should have a couple on hand, right? Do I not? Oh, thank goodness. I have two. That's the exact amount that I need. Wait, hold on. There we go. I want to get that out of my inventory first. Also, we have flamethrower towers now. Spawn camping with fart towers? No, I'm mostly spawn camping with sentry towers because I can keep those well back from the actual combat arena so they don't get in my way. So the sentry towers are able to shoot at an extremely long distance, so those just occasionally deal a massive burst of damage, which is all I really need. I could do the fart clouds and it would be more effective, but again, I like having my my combat field be generally not cluttered. Okay. All right, it's production 1, isn't it? Fucking wild, man. Okay, it's not that it couldn't reach the water, it's that it would not pipe sewage directly. This is what I'm talking about. So it won't put sewage directly in the environment, which is a good thing. I'm glad. However, why was this pond half normal and half fucking sewage? Make that make sense. It really don't. Also, I don't know what you guys is sucking, because you ain't attached to any water no more. I thought I'd have to move you further in here, but no. They do be sucking. So that should take another, like, maybe, what? 15 minutes? And then I'll be able to get the last treasure chest of this region. Let's actually go check on the other place, because I started this, this morning, so I don't know how far along it is. I do only have 4 running, and it's a very large reservoir, so it might take a while. Unfortunately, even with family emergencies going on back home, there's not a damn thing I can do about it, because my first priority is to my unborn child and my wife. So as much as I'd like to rush back home and help out any way I can, I cannot. I have things I need to take care of here. It's a shame that it's all happening right now, considering. Am I close? Overshooting.